Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle, and welcome. This is part 5 of our series, Single in God, and today we are talking about relationships. There are different types of interpersonal relationships, which are friendships. This is an informal type of relationship where individuals enjoy each other's company and decide to be around each other by choice, which grows into a love relationship that is not romantic. And then we have family. On the other hand, it is a group of people who are related either by blood or through marriage. And then we have work relationship. This is where individuals come together to work for an organization to achieve that organization's goal or interest. And these people don't have to like each other. They just have to achieve that set goal. These people are called colleagues. And then we have a romantic one. It is two individuals that come together because of a love interest. And this relationship is built on understanding, loyalty, love, respect, and transparency. And then we have platonic. It is between two individuals with no desire of each other, whether physically or emotionally. They're just two people who know each other. However, today I want to talk about a relationship with family. Family can be anyone from your parents, siblings, spouse, your children, and God. Let's begin with the term relationship first. Let's define what it means to be in a relationship. Relationship is defined as the state of being connected, meaning it doesn't matter how you are connected, but having any form of connection is a relationship. In order to have a good relationship, we have to have a good foundation first. And a good foundation can be found in God. That's the only way you can have good, godly relationships. Yes, there are bad relationships as well. And we'll get to that in a bit later stage. Let's talk about the first relationship we are introduced to in life, which is parent and children relationships. Because before we are introduced to God, this is the first relationship that is formed, relationships between parents and children. So in Proverbs chapter 22, verses 6, it says, "Train a child in a way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it." So from the day a child is born, you should give your child a name. This is my belief. A name that has a positive meaning to build their character and shape who they are supposed to be. It is important to understand that this verse does not only talk about Christian values, but teaches more about how parents should prepare their children for the world. As a parent, it is your duty to provide, protect, and teach your child. As the first point of contact in this world, parents should teach their children how to give love and how to receive love, and never dismiss your children's affection because they learn rejection and suffer insecurities in the long run. Create time for your child and be involved in their lives by being present and available for them when they need affirmation, sorry, communication, or to share what they feel. It helps to boost their confidence and helps them to find their identity, especially if you allow their personality to develop while they are young. You need to teach them trust by believing them when they tell you about their struggle or hurt, and help them by following up on that issue. Stand up for your children without fighting so they can learn to depend on you for support, but also teach them to stand up for themselves. Teach them the difference between right and wrong, and if you make a mistake, be humble enough to apologize, and in turn, when they ask for your forgiveness, forgive them. And when you discipline your child, don't do it out of anger, but let them know why you are punishing them so they can learn from their mistakes. Follow your own rules that you set for your children, and don't be harsh on them to prevent them from becoming bitter. You must remember, children do as you do, not as you say. So you cannot set a high standard for your children a standard that you don't even live by. So don't make promises you cannot keep either to avoid disappointment. Show them you care by investing in their interest. Cheer them on and encourage them and affirm who they are. Encourage their imagination and allow them to think outside the box, and never limit them to what you know as possible. Don't allow anyone to limit your child's abilities, even if it means you go to that school and speak to that teacher. Okay? But be honest to your child about things you know and things you don't know. Never make decisions based on emotions, because it will expose your instability, and in turn, you lose credibility. How children turn out has everything to do with the teachings they receive at home. Teach them morals and values based on the scripture. Teach them about who God is and how to pray. When they grow up, it will be easily adopted as a lifestyle instead of religion. I have come to learn that teaching my son about God is to show him more love and give fewer rules. This for me has shown me that if my child feels loved, he does everything I ask easily, because he feels that is how he shows me love in return. There's a scripture, I think it's in John 14, verses 15, I think. If you love me, it says, if you love me, you will obey my commandments. So love works in a sense of it's a give and take. When you love someone, you want to kind of like show them you love them by doing things that would please them. So should your relationship with your child. And it is very important to remember as a parent that your child has their own personality and their own destiny, and are not called to fulfill yours. I cannot stress this enough. Just because you wanted to be a doctor and couldn't does not mean that they have to be one. You cannot live your dreams through your children. I believe children are smarter than we think, and if you don't have time to teach or raise your children, well, someone else will. Whatever seed we plant in them will grow. Be careful not to plant doubts, fears, or insecurities, because that will rule them. This is why we need to cover our children from the womb and speak life in them always. How you raise your children will determine who they become. Yes, we get frustrated, and yes, we have bad days, but it is never fair or okay to take it out on an innocent child. If we do, let us apologize and try to do better. And let us learn to speak to our children instead of shouting at them if they don't understand or are having trouble with grasping what we are trying to teach or trying to tell them at the time. Although you allow your children to be their own person, it doesn't mean they make decisions for themselves. You should always have a final say. Your child should know the consequences of crossing the line, and that should be standard, always. Parenthood is a journey that you both are on, with you being the leader and the child submitting under your leadership. Please don't be a dictator. Don't be a dictator. A great leader is a great student. Enjoy the journey because it is fruitful. Being a parent is never easy. However, with God by your side, you learn and grow and get better with time. There will be a lot of push and pull in the process, but be humble and never stop learning or growing, because the children are indeed our future. Let's end it here for today. Next time, we'll be talking about a relationship with God, which is the basis of each and every relationship we have, whether it is with parents and children, or siblings, or spouse, or any other person that comes into our life. Until next time, to God be the glory.